What do you think the single most important thing we need to be doing right now as Americans and as a country is?
Well, the very first thing is the social isolation, so that the number of contacts outside your household is minimized. And, washing your hands, distancing as much as possible. Those are going to cause this exponential growth in the infection to both level off. Hopefully in the next month, we'll see that leveling off in most of the country. And then as we go another month after that, we need to get the numbers down pretty dramatically so that then we can look at what activities we start to open back up. It'll help everyone get out of this more quickly and reduce the deaths and reduce the economic reduction if we implement these strong isolation measures on a countrywide basis.
There is a lot of media buzz about the idea of mandatory vaccines. That seems odd, since many of them have harmful ingredients, toxins, contaminants, DNA-altering materials, RFID identifiers, sterility-causing agents, carcinogens, and who knows what else, because they don't tell us.
Are you aware that there are people out there who have these conspiracy theories that this was all created by you in order to inoculate everyone in the world and put a chip into their blood so you can track them?
Yeah, that's very strange.
Yes.
That the organization that's about saving lives and warning, gets attacked as though we were somehow connected to it.
Well, if you don't save our lives, you can't control our brains.
Most vaccines do have adjuvants, which are toxins that shock your immune system into responding, so supposedly the vaccine will have a better chance of working. But when your immune system is in shock, a lot of things can go wrong with your health.
And then the final solution, which is a year to 2 years off, is the vaccine. So we've got to go full speed ahead on all three fronts.
Just to head off the conspiracy theorists, maybe we shouldn't call the vaccine the final solution. Maybe just the best solution.
Yeah, the return to normal solution.
So there are people who believe that vaccines are safe, but how could they know? Even people who make and administer vaccines can't guarantee their safety. When you look into it, it turns out that the person giving you the injection generally has no idea what is in the vaccine, what adjuvants, what undisclosed agents, what contamination. They have no idea, and they have no way of even finding out most of those things. So we have no idea what they are injecting into us. We do know that over 100,000 people die from vaccines every year in the USA.
And it became something that, we get to do together. We're, partners in crime.
They get a vaccine and they die. Do you feel lucky? We do know that the polio vaccine used a specific strain, and that strain was found to have caused a major polio epidemic worldwide. In India alone, 490,000 children were paralyzed by that vaccine.
When was the last time you became angry?
I didn't come up. I was talking about how there's been more polio cases than we hoped for this last year. And
I'll bet they didn't
how
think
mad
that.
that made me.
Yes.
That wasn't on the top of their list.
How mad that made me.
Yes, that wasn't on the top.
Similar disasters were recorded in experiments with vaccines for malaria, meningitis, tetanus, and HPV, which were experimentally administered to populations worldwide. Bill Gates and the World Health Organization conspired to put sterility drugs in tetanus vaccine. And in 2014, millions of women who thought they were getting tetanus shots were sterilized in Kenya, Tanzania, Nicaragua, Mexico, and the Philippines.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
After it was discovered that the World Health Organization DTP vaccine was killing more African children than the diseases it was supposed to prevent, the World Health Organization continued to force that vaccine on millions of children annually.
The vaccine is the thing that will change things, and that's why, really figuring out how do we make sure it's safe, because that when you give it to 7 billion healthy people, that's super important.
Bill Gates funded the World Health Organization with hundreds of millions of dollars and convinced that organization to conduct experimental vaccination programs and to drop disease prevention programs which provided clean water, hygiene, nutrition, and economic development.
No, the awareness of this is a threat, and probably the biggest threat to kill tens of millions of people. That will be permanently embedded. And I think about pandemics a lot, and even so, I can hardly believe we're in this situation.
Mm-hmm. It is. And every day it's different, isn't it?
And yeah, and we need to orchestrate the numbers, the science, the innovation, and we need to do it very, very quickly.
Bill Gates has publicly identified vaccinations as a means of achieving one of his personal goals, to reduce population.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Bill Gates is not a doctor.
And how you get a vaccine that making 7 billion of those is going to be an incredible challenge.
And has no formal medical education. Bill Gates has publicly advocated that his vaccinations be taken by everyone in the world.
Well, I feel very confident that this time we won't ignore the potential for the next epidemic.
If that happened, that would make him richer than Microsoft made him. But I'm sure he just wants to help people, and he does not think about making hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, there's no doubt, having paid many trillions of dollars, more than we might have had to if we'd been properly ready, people will this time, because it affected the rich countries. This is the biggest event that people will experience in their entire lives. We will have standby diagnostics. We will have deep antiviral libraries. We will have antibody scale-up. We will have vaccine platforms. We will have early warning systems. We will do germ games. The cost of doing all those things well is very small compared to what we're going through here. And so now people realize, okay, there really is a meaningful probability every 20 years or so, with lots of world travel, that one of these will come along.